This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Welcome to my worst day.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
I have to say, I'm sitting in a different spot.
I know.
And
I was thinking that.
Literally, I feel like I'm in the upside down. Like it just threw me off completely. Like I'm like, do I say my name second? I don't even know anymore. Everything's been thrown into question.
It's like that time you like redesign your room when you're a kid and you're like, no, well, now I have a different life.
I'm a different person.
I'm a different person.
Actually, yes.
Very cool now.
Changed everything.
Yeah. The kids at school are going to really see me now.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
because I put my bed on the other side of the room. Yeah.
It didn't work. I'm very disappointed.
Well, I feel like it worked in the short term for me. I really do. I feel like
you came in with a new attitude.
I have, just straight Pisces energy, just very delusional about my life. Like I'm just like, if I buy a new pair of pants, like I'll read a book and I'll be like, I think I'm dark academia aesthetic now. Like I'm just going to go buy vests and sweaters.
I literally just Googled the same thing. I was like, is this going to be my new look?
Yeah, I think this is who I am now. But that changes every time I read a new book. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Now I'm this person.
Yes.
That's why I have so many clothes too. It's a real problem.
Yeah. That's why I run through one way. I can't.
You know what? I do have to say, like, I feel like there's a real thing happening right now where people feel like they need to commit to an aesthetic. And I'm like, you do not need to commit to an aesthetic. Like, be as like wild as you want to be.
Yeah.
Change your aesthetic every year. Who cares? Like, wear whatever you want.
It is definitely something I struggled with from like, my whole life, like feeling like, oh, you have to commit to something. Oh, you like vintage style within your whole
all
life
you
is
can
vintage,
wear. Right? Or you're a poser if you don't wear just nothing but like pinup
swing
girl
dresses
clothing.
and
No, you can wear pinup girl clothing one day, and then you can wear just flowy boho dress the next day. It doesn't matter.
I feel released right now.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we had this talk.
I hope that people find this cleansing. Yeah. Glad I could do that for you.
Thank you.
Well, okay. I do feel like we need to discuss this briefly.
Okay.
We must touch on the fact that Avril Lavigne is dating Tyga. I find it really fucking weird. It's really weird. I never would have thought that this would happen.
It is weird. The more I think about it.
They look weird together. Like it's just everything. And look, love is love. Right? If they're happy.
Have you seen the TikTok that really kind of explains all the different connections, all the Kardashian, Jenner
And I will explain it now for you.
Okay, go.
This is the thing that makes it the weirdest. Besides the fact that even just hearing that, I'm like, they exist in different worlds to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Avril Lavigne is so deeply tied to like my millennial childhood.
Sure.
And then Tyga just
a very emo.
Yeah. And Tyga exists in a very different realm to me.
But explain it. They're actually in the same realm.
But so Tyga used to date Black China,
right?
Who has a baby with Rob Kardashian. But then Tyga also dated Kylie Jenner, who's Rob Kardashian's half sister. And then Avril Lavigne dated Brody Jenner, who is also Kylie's half sibling.
It's too
so like
much.
they're like all interconnected with the like Jenner Kardashian family.
That's very weird.
It's fucking weird.
It's very weird.
It's weird anyway that like Kylie would date someone who has a kid with her brother's ex-girlfriend. It's all very, very strange.
My new favorite thing is that creator who does the Kardashians. Have you seen her?
Oh my God. She's amazing.
We need to figure it out, and I'll put it in the show notes, but
I love
the
her.
Fake nails.
Yes.
It's the best.
She's
amazing. If you haven't seen it.
I have not seen it.
We'll have to show it. She's
been doing it forever.
Best Kardashian impressions.
Amazing.
And she does these TikToks. They're just phenomenal. But yeah.
Have you seen the guy who does the
reality guy?
The reality guy. He recreates moments. They're always
holding like
candles.
A banana. Like, what are you doing?
Whatever they're promoting, because that's what they do on the show. They're always holding like random shit because it's like whatever they're being
paid
to sponsor.
Oh my God. God.
incredible. I'll try and find his handle too, so we can
funny.
put that in the notes as well.
And it's always like something super dramatic, and nobody can make it through it. Somebody breaks every single time.
Well, and I love that they leave it in. They leave
do.
they leave it in when they break. It's amazing.
Oh, so funny.
Okay, the other thing that I feel like we should touch on, because this is wild to me. Once or twice a year, I get reminded that Tiger Woods is a piece of shit.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like I forget.
Yeah.
And then something happens and I'm reminded that he's an absolute, piece of garbage.
I just had the most insane, tough week like that I've had in like a long time. I caught a glimpse of like this story, but I don't know the deets. So can somebody please fill me in?
I would love nothing more.
Okay.
So he was dating a woman named Erica Herman. They lived together in his house. He broke up with her, or I don't know if he had officially broke up with her or not, or he was going to break up with her, but he was like, I'm afraid she won't move out of the house.
Okay.
So he was like, hey babe, we're going to go on vacation. We're going to go to this luxury resort, sent her all of the information for the resort. And he was like, so just pack a suitcase, pack your stuff. We're going. So then his driver drove her to the airport.
Okay.
They got to the airport and they were like, by the way, we're breaking up and I'm changing the locks to the house, so you can't come back there.
Can't do that, by the way.
She didn't pack all her shit to go on vacation.
That's
so literally she
illegal.
gets to leave with just the suitcase.
I mean,
what?
But she doesn't. I mean, it's his house.
It doesn't matter. Possession and whatnot, and her stuff is in the house. He's not allowed to change the locks on her abode. That is where she lives. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely known people who have done that.
For $30 million, and she'll probably get it because he's not allowed to do that. You can't do that.
Suing for $30 million, and according to them, his team, they're like, we didn't kick her out. We didn't leave her out on the street. We set her up in a very nice resort with enough money to find a new place. He's like, I gave her enough money to buy a new house, basically, so that she could move out. But
in Ohio,
she's saying,
really nice place,
right? Yeah, exactly. She's saying that they had an oral agreement. So basically her lawsuit, the $30 million, is that he's in violation of an oral agreement that they had made, that he had made an agreement with her that she could live in the house for the next 5 years.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to prove it, for services rendered. Which I'm like, what does that mean? What does it mean?
Well, then his side can be like, well, the services rendered weren't up to. I mean, he could do anything with that fucking verbal agreement.
And also, she's saying that
he's like, you were fired. Actually,
she has a separate suit or a separate filing, because she's saying that her NDA is null and void because he made her sign an NDA at the beginning of the relationship, which at this point, Tiger, I would too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tiger, do better, dude.
Shady.
Do fucking better.
Yeah. And you're shady and you know it. So he made her sign an NDA, and she's saying that she doesn't have to abide by the NDA because of harassment and assault within the relationship.
Wow.
Man. So a messy.
Wow. No, this guy, after that whole last scandal, his PR team,
they're tired.
Did what they did to try to get him back up. But man,
some people are just
some
trash.
people are shitty.
Right. And it's just it doesn't matter, because I always think that
he's been around those golfing guys way too long.
Oh, do you know something about golfing guys?
No, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? He's just been around that old money bullshit for too long, thinking he can just do where the fuck he wants. And
we've had this conversation too about when people get famous young.
Yep.
He got famous too young. Where it's just you don't develop. I really believe you don't develop.
He's a Toys R Us kid. He doesn't want to grow up.
Yeah.
And
he didn't have to.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I just think that you don't get the same consequences for your actions when you're that wealthy. You really. I think it affects your...
Consequences are for poor people. You're absolutely right.
Consequences for poor people. We all know that. Is so true.
Yeah,
it's the truth. Yeah, there are no consequences for the rich. There's only consequences for the poor people.
And the best example of that I always think about is when Jeff Bezos was building his house. Do you remember that? Like he was building a house and his neighbors kept being like, which first of all, why would you have neighbors if you have that much money?
Honey.
Yeah.
But his neighbors were like, you can't just keep like parking all of your construction vehicles like all up and down our street. Like it's illegal for you to do that. Like we need to get in and out of our houses.
Right.
And he was like, I don't give a fuck because I'll just pay the fines. So he ended up paying like hundreds of thousands of dollars in parking fines because he's like, I don't care. Like I have the money to pay the fines. So I'll just park my cars wherever I want so I can build my house as quickly as I can.
It's
my
Gigi Hadid and Bella Hadid's dad, like here in LA. He built that fucking house. They told him, no, you cannot. And he was like, well, watch me. Built this fucking house. People were like, dude, you literally cannot do this.
No,
He's like,
but it doesn't matter. Like that's exactly laws.
but I did.
Laws are for poor people.
Well,
because
and
if you can pay a fine,
exactly
then the
right.
law doesn't exist for you.
It's the bank crashing.
Oh,
this
Jesus,
this
yeah.
time. It's like the people that are going to feel the consequences are the workers who are not
Right.
going to get their
We are.
paychecks and shit like that.
Right.
It's like, it's not good. Peter Thiel is going to be fine. He's fine. He pulled his money out early. The CEO of that bank did $3.6 million stock sale. Like, you know,
Yeah.
but meanwhile, some worker at some startup app or whatever is just going to be
so fucking
like
tough, dude.
not able to pay their rent this month.
Yeah. I mean, and so that's what we mean when we say that, like, yeah, there's no consequences for the rich. There's no laws for the rich because it's like, if you can't, I mean, unless things get, like, things have to be bad for a really rich person to go to jail. Like, things have to be really bad and they probably have fucked up multiple times. Like, that's the only way.
Yeah.
The thing about the house thing, did you ever remember there was that show? It made me think of this immediately. There was a show about like these people would move in, they were like roommates, and then they would never leave. They wouldn't pay rent. They wouldn't do anything. and they would never leave.
Yes.
And
That
they-
gave
nothing-
me such
oh,
anxiety.
So much anxiety. They were like, like I literally right after I watched that, I had a friend who was in a desperate situation who needed to like stay at my house for like a day. And at the moment I was like, oh, she's gonna leave, right?
Right.
I can be
Not
stuck
like I
here.
have any reason to believe that this person was going to take advantage and just want to sleep on my couch for the rest of her life. But
listen.
like, I know, but
People
it's,
be shady, dude.
I'm telling you,
I
I knew nothing they could do.
I
'Cause
read
the
that
law
book.
is not for them.
I read that book that I suggested to you, The Family Upstairs, that like thriller book, and
yeah.
it's a similar. It's like they move in. It's like,
now I
just
know, I'm
need a
glad you
place
told me
to.
that, 'cause I
Yeah,
can't
I
read
just need a
that.
place to stay for a little while, and then it's like 5 years later.
Oh, no.
You're like, oh no.
No.
You bought them a house now because yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That is a new fear unlocked. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Truly.
Yeah. Trapped. Oh my gosh. That literally is, I think, my biggest nightmare, actually.
Roommates are that shit. Whenever I see somebody who's just like, I found a roommate on Craigslist.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? You're could
But
be
you
me?
can't kick roommates out. That's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. Like that's what I'm talking about with this situation. She, regardless of what their relationship was, I mean, basically she's a roommate of his. He can't just change the fucking locks on her home because that is where she lives. That's where her mail gets sent. That is her abode.
Oh,
I don't know,
my
man.
God.
We'll
Couldn't
see.
be me,
I don't know
man.
about this verbal agreement nonsense, but in that, yeah. Well, of course, I'm sure step by
I've
step
known
there might be
people who have
differences.
changed, like when they've ended relationships, who've changed locks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
But I've also seen that happen. And then they're like, the police come and they're like, you have to let this person in. They're, you know, of course, like all their stuff's here. They live here. This is their address.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
It's
we've
scary, dude.
gotten those stories too about what did we get that story about that person went away for like a weekend or for like a work trip and came home and the person like had moved out.
yes.
But
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And they were in a relationship for like 2 years and they
Listen.
just straight ghosted. And they're like, goodbye.
Of the two, wouldn't you?
That one's
I would
better.
rather
Yeah,
that
okay,
one.
It's
which
better.
would you rather?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I would much rather you move out and just were
Then
like
kick me
up
out.
and left.
Yeah. I don't want to have to find new housing. Do you know how fucking annoying it is to find a new apartment? Oh my God.
In LA?
Like,
Oh, it's a
Oh
nightmare.
no,
Absolute
I'm
trash.
thinking about the other side of it. Like, would you rather have somebody who'd never left? Like, you couldn't get rid of them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
no. I don't want
I would
that at all.
much rather the person just up and left.
But it makes me think of when Billy Bob Thornton did that to Laura Dern, where he just moved all her shit out while she was filming somewhere and moved Angelina Jolie in.
God damn.
That is some fucking audacity.
Damn.
Scandalous.
Honey, that is audacity, especially when you look at that motherfucker. You're like, honey.
You were already punching above your weight class with Laura Dern.
He's like, Master, you don't live here no more.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I remember I did that for that live show we did for Outlier, the Angelina Jolie, Billy Bob Thornton, because what a fever dream that situation was.
It really, truly.
What a time.
What a time. The early 2000s, Dan.
Chaos.
Nostalgic for the optimism that we had, though.
Oh.
Yeah. It's basically since 2008, it's been a long downhill slide of
True.
shit.
See, this Gen X has been preparing for this our whole lives. We've always been like, well, when is it going to crash, though?
Yeah, you guys are like, it's shit. It's shit.
It's just
Us
shit.
millennials,
Yeah.
we're like, we're special. We can do anything.
It wasn't even
It's
shit,
gonna be
though.
great.
Like,
Gen
that's
X
the
is like,
thing.
this is shit.
Gen X was talking like it was shit when it wasn't shit. Like that was the best
Because
time.
our parents were like, I grew up, my parents were like, there will be no social security for you. There will be no this and that. And the world's going to fall apart. Like our parents were like doomsday prepping us our whole lives.
Well,
like,
and then if they were even home, most of
truly,
them,
truly.
most of them just gave you a key and were
Truly.
like,
My
make your
house.
own dinner.
Oh.
Bye. And we got to work.
The way I made so much mac and cheese.
Oh, God.
Literally, my arteries are just powdered cheese.
I had mac and cheese for dinner the other day. It
So
was a
good,
real
though.
moment. It's so good when it hits your lips, but it does not leave you feeling good.
No.
Every time I eat mac and cheese, I feel like absolute trash afterwards, and I know I'm going to.
Well,
Yeah.
it's those nostalgia foods from childhood. If you haven't eaten them for a while, you're like, oh my God, I loved this. And then you take a bite and you're like, oh. The other night, the way that I was craving this broccoli chicken rice casserole.
Yummy.
that we
I know
used to
exactly
make
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
with the Campbell soup.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But
my
I was
God,
like,
yes.
you know what? I really, really want this. Like, I'm like craving this. The way I took a bite and could taste like all the
MSG,
the chemicals and stuff. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, like another childhood memory ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go back.
Can't go back.
No, it's
No.
better if you don't.
Yeah.
It's better if you don't.
Just
truly.
don't look.
But you know what? There are some things that still hit for me, like a boxed cake, and I love making like real cake. Like
Funfetti?
I make cake
told
from
you.
scratch usually, but occasionally, a boxed funfetti cake. Stop it! It's
Listen,
amazing.
did
It's
I
so
make
good.
those for our friend's birthday? Yes,
Yeah.
I did. And were they delicious?
Of course they were.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yummy.
They tasted like a little pocket of heaven.
And and when you've had real like homemade cakes, you're like, what is in that box cake? Because it is not like there's something
Pure
in there
crack
that's not
cocaine.
right, but it's so good.
so good when it hits your lips.
oh, man.
Wow. Well, I mean, we were all over the place.
Yeah.
So what do we feel like fuck, marry,
We
killing
can do whatever
today?
we want.
I
Exactly.
have a good idea.
Okay.
And we can toss this if we don't like it.
Okay.
But since we were thinking about nostalgia, I remember having posters on my wall as a kid. It threw me right into my old bedroom. So I was thinking, what if we did like one of those? Like to me, I had Slaughter on my
What's that?
Slaughter is a band
Yeah, I actually
from the
didn't know
80s. When I was a kid.
Okay.
You don't know who Slaughter is? You would. I'll play you a song and you're going to know.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to know immediately. You're like, fucking yeah, duh. But I had that, I had like the Guns N' Roses, right? Like being a kid.
Oh, hair
know,
metal.
growing- oh, totally.
Wonderful. Glam rock.
I mean, tell me you don't know this song.
Nope.
No.
You
Literally
don't know Up
nothing.
On, oh my God. Did you listen to hair metal at all?
No.
Oh, well, there you go. I guess that you're like,
That's all
actually,
that.
no. I mean, actually, apparently it's 1990, but I was like a kid.
Yeah, 1990, I would have been 8.
Yeah.
That was a New Kids on the Block for me. That's
yes.
where I was.
Oh,
So
gosh. Yeah.
I was NKOTB.
I was like
crushing
11.
on
I was
Jonathan.
being born.
Oh, yes. Yes. You were in utero. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I really feel like I didn't have band posters when I was really little, it would have been like a Backstreet Boys situation, but I didn't really have band posters and things like hanging up on my wall. What I did have was a collage of old Hollywood stars. I had like a whole wall that was just like a collage of
like James Dean and Marilyn Monroe and all that stuff.
And then
That's
it would
incredible.
slowly expand. And I actually have a bunch of them because my mom brought my like old like chest that I had in my childhood bedroom out here, and I have a bunch of the cutouts in there still. And there's also like it expanded to like Keanu Reeves. I have I think I counted like 10 Johnny Depp pictures like in various movies. I know, didn't age well.
Johnny Depp
I had the
really,
River
yes.
Phoenix. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know who he is.
Yes,
he was
an
I do
actor.
know he.
So I'm just, great.
Yes, and he was very cute too. But yeah, I had a lot of actors. It was mostly actors.
Yeah, I was just thinking like nostalgia poster.
Okay.
Right. Only to bring us back to the poster that I had on my wall, just so you guys can
that's
appreciate.
gorgeous.
Oh wow. I mean, they are they have beautiful hair.
Beautiful hair.
Incredible.
I mean, Mark Slaughter was my bae.
Yeah.
My 11-year-old bae.
It's so funny because I feel like there's so much toxic masculinity that came out of the 80s.
Which is ridiculous.
It's weird because the men all were so pretty.
So pretty, so much makeup, so much hair, so much hairspray.
Yeah.
And now you can't even get a guy to blow dry his hair. He's like, ew.
Yeah,
You're like, okay, calm down, sir. Sir.
Exactly.
Honey.
It's so funny.
You were getting
I'm a man's
perms.
man, but I'm like, but you okay, I mean, great. I love it. I'm here for it.
Listen.
I think that more people should embrace the blow dry.
The grooming. Yeah.
We went from a weird place, right? We went from that to like manscaping, right? Do you remember like the 90s, that whole metrosexual, like
the
that
Queer
whole thing?
Eye.
The original Queer Eye.
Yeah.
Brought that into the mainstream.
Man.
Yeah, I think my teen phase poster thing was the like JTT and the Devon Sawa, that Tiger Beat era for me was
Jonathan Taylor Thomas was bae.
Yeah.
Gosh, I thought that he was like
the
cutest. The middle part, floppy hair middle part. I saw that in the wild recently, and I was like, "Is this shit coming back?" Like I saw it on a teen.
Yeah, probably
on a teens,
on a youth,
on a youth. Okay, well, I mean,
I kind of feel like we did do the Jonathan Sawa.
Yeah, we did. We did
Devon Sawa.
Or that's what I meant. Yes.
Yeah.
We did do Tiger Beat for sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, nostalgia crushes. If we're doing band musicians,
it doesn't have to be musicians.
I was really into Kurt Cobain.
Oh yeah.
When I was little. Mm-hmm. As I've gotten older, seeing how toxic that is.
Yeah.
I'm a Dave Grohl fan. He seems nice.
He seems like the best.
I know.
He? Yeah, well, I mean, if we wanted to pick people from bands, I would go. I had a big crush on Nick Carter. In Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
I really did. I was a Nick Carter fan. Also, middle part floppy hair.
Yes.
This is feeling very nostalgic in general. I feel like we did this. Now that you said Nick Carter, I feel like we did that. No, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, if we did, round two.
Here we go.
Electric Boogaloo. So we have, I know we've done Kurt Cobain, so why don't we do Dave Grohl?
Okay, there you go.
Love it.
So Dave Grohl, because I was a huge Nirvana fan. Sorry to Chris Novoselic, but
he
never
seems
had
like
a crush
a very
Isn't
sweet
he a
guy,
politician now? I think he ran
He's
for
like
office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Dave Grohl, we got Nick Carter.
Oh, Jesus. Now I'm kind of stumped.
You gonna do Mark Slaughter?
I mean, I could, but you guys don't even know who he is.
Oh,
and I don't really know enough about him. Like, it's not like I know him. Like,
Well,
I was
surely
just
you
like
had
11-year-old
crushes.
me.
Yeah.
That's funny because then we said music, and I was like, I also had like a big crush on Kevin Costner when I was younger.
You can go with Kevin Costner. It doesn't have to be
so
music.
random.
Yeah.
I did like an older man. Also, Pierce
That's
Brosnan.
a lot older.
I know.
Kevin Costner.
Pierce Brosnan. Are you kidding? When I was young, I was like a teen. I'm talking like teens. Oh my God. I had like the biggest crush.
Pierce
I'm
Brosnan
sorry. When the Thomas Crown Affair came out, I was like, are you fucking...
For me, it was Mrs. Doubtfire. I was like, go Sally Field, get it. Like, get Pierce Brosnan. That's I was like, yes.
Eric just put on Goldeneye the other night, and what a fever dream of a Bond series that was. The whole Pierce Brosnan thing, it does not hold up, not even at all.
I remember the last one, the one with like the Madonna song in it. Like, that was a pure fever dream. I mean, they fucking like, I think they were like, in my mind, they were like surfing on ice. It was like a whole, what the fuck is happening?
Dude, all I remember is Denise Richards was supposed to be like a doctor.
scientist?
Yeah,
Yes.
a scientist.
Something.
In like the
Christmas or something,
tightest
Holly.
shirt I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Dave Grohl, Nick Carter, and
Man, I'm gonna do Pierce Brosnan. Fuck
Pierce
y'all.
Brosnan.
What
Okay.
a group of people.
Yeah.
Wow. This is very random.
It's incredibly random.
Okay. Wow.
Well,
Good luck.
listen.
Good luck. Wow. That is.
I know what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna do too.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
marry
feel-
Dave Grohl, right?
have
Are we
to.
all in
I'm marrying
agreement?
Dave
I was
Grohl.
back and forth because I really love Pierce Brosnan.
Right.
And
He seems all right.
his
He really
last
loves
wife's
his
name
wife.
is Cassandra.
He loves his wife.
son's name's Dylan.
Oh.
I mean,
Oh, so you're already living that life. You are
mean,
already married to Pierce Brosnan.
his first wife.
current wife is Kelly, right? It's
Yes.
his current wife. Yeah.
and I love how they're just like growing old together and
Yeah.
being
They give no
themselves.
fucks. It's great.
No fucks. I love
Yeah.
it. I love Pierce Brosnan. I'm going to marry Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
Fuck it.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm going to fuck Dave Grohl. For sure.
Yeah.
He feels strong. You know,
Yeah.
like somebody who can play the drums.
Drums?
Like
that.
He's going to have a really great like
Chest.
chest, shoulders,
Yeah.
back muscles,
Yeah.
strong hands.
Yes. He seems like he does sex good.
I
You know what I mean? I get that vibe. I'm like, you're good at this.
I
get
have a feeling though that he also knows that he does sex good. Like there's something about him, like specifically like when you're thinking about like when they were trying to find a new drummer, like that whole thing, like he kind of has this like nobody can do it as well as me, so I'm just going to do it myself vibe.
Yeah.
About
but,
him.
I mean, if you're not wrong.
Yeah, I don't think he's, and I think he's lovely. Like every interview I've
Does
ever
a lot of
seen,
charity.
He does
He's
a ton
good
of
with his
charity
kids.
work.
No,
yeah,
he seems like
Yeah.
he seems like a really good guy. Yeah, I'm gonna marry Dave Grohl. I mean, he just seems like a really good person.
I'm going back on my no musicians thing.
I
and
mean,
I'm going to marry him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah. He's you got that hair too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's still strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Still looking good.
he's good.
He's
he looks great.
yeah,
actually.
Honestly, yeah.
keeping
He
it
does.
tight.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Dave Grohl, keeping it tight.
we love it. We should have that on a t-shirt.
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl, keeping it tight. Yeah.
So yeah, check out our merch store. You can go to myworstatepodcast.com.
Oh my God. I have a
Coming
feeling
soon.
we can't do that. Sure. I'm just,
You can do whatever you want. Free speech.
listen.
Yeah.
Listen. It's true.
Oh yeah, we definitely could. What's he gonna do? It's a compliment.
Exactly.
You're gonna sue us over this, Dave?
Right.
Don't make me go back on
Exactly.
all the nice
I'll
things I
re-edit
just
this
said.
fucking episode. I'll take it out. It's gone.
I'm going to marry Pierce Brosnan.
And I am gonna fuck Pierce Brosnan though.
Yeah.
I think I am.
Me too.
Nick Carter was a moment in time.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was.
regret it.
A
It
flash.
was exactly what I needed when I needed it as a young child.
Yeah.
But that situation, they had his whole family had like a reality TV show and they were chaotic.
Yeah,
So-
it seems like a lot. It seems very stressful.
much.
It's too much, and yeah,
I
just
appreciate the like early naughty thoughts I had when I was like way too young about Nick Carter, but it wasn't meant to last.
yeah. As I've grown older, like chaos is something I steer clear from.
Yeah.
I
Or
appreciate how Pierce Brosnan is like, I'm getting fucking old, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yes,
Protect your
me
peace, honey.
too.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I want to do old people shit all the time
And they're
now.
always on the beach. I'm just
Listen.
like,
Yes.
y'all are just fucking
Yes.
living your lives.
yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds perfect. Let's go right now.
Yeah. And he's got a British accent. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Hot.
He's like, we're gonna go on this luxury resort vacation, and then
Bye.
leave me at the airport.
He would never.
Never.
He would never.
He would never.
He
Yeah.
would break up with you in the most respectful way.
Oh,
like he's a
absolutely.
good breaker upper.
Yeah. He would sit you down.
Yeah.
Face to face. He
Yeah.
wants to make eye contact
Yeah.
with you when he
let
does
you
it.
know that like he appreciates everything that you had together.
It's been an amazing journey.
Moving apart.
yeah.
I think we want different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I actually, what I really feel is that I want the best for you. I feel like I'm holding you back on your journey.
Wow.
And so I think that's the kind of breakup you're going to get from him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Lovely. So are you also fucking Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
it
yeah.
has to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, it's just not. But I was in sync. I was not Backstreet Boys,
You know what?
too, which
NSYNC
is the other thing.
NSYNC is fun because looking back, you're like, man, JTT was not the most talented person in that group.
True.
Wait,
you know?
JTT.
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake, JT.
I was like,
there's
wait,
too many.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas
he was not in NSYNC.
He was not in any band.
The ramen hair did not do it for me.
No.
Yeah.
Frosted Tips is something I steer clear from. Even if it was in your past, that's just if
it was there.
If pictures exist of you with Frosted Tips, I'll end this relationship right now. I'm gonna call Eric. Be like, you have Frosted Tips in your past. You need to burn those pictures.
You better not bring them up.
You got to get rid of them before she finds them.
Yep.
We better go talk to Tony real quick. I have a feeling he probably had a Frosted Tip picture.
You know, I don't think he did have Frosted Tips, but he definitely did some very 90s hair things.
Chris's 90s look. Let me take you back. Chris's
had a
90s
goatee,
look,
didn't
a
he?
shaved head.
Yeah.
With just the goatee.
Yeah, I've seen
So
pictures.
he basically looks like Ian from, oh God, shit. Totally blanking. Anyway, he looked like exactly that. Like just metal kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What a time.
Woo. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Sounds good.
And we're back. All right, Christina.
Okay. Here we go. I finally managed to get the nerve to ask out another girl.
Oh.
She was so cool. I mean, I was 20 and she had really nice boobs. But she was also funny and sweet and made me feel things just being around her. She had a 5-year-old kid and I seemed to get along with her too, teaching her songs on the piano in the student lounge. Turns out a good way to a mother's heart is to be good to her kid.
Mm-hmm.
One day, I finally get the nerve to mumble something about maybe seeing a movie together one day. She was into it. She gave me her number and I told her I'd get in touch. It took me a month of staring at the number before I called her.
A month.
I'd be like,
long
I'm
in a new relationship.
Yeah,
already.
actually.
But I asked her if she wanted to go see a movie with me. She couldn't agree fast enough. So that evening,
Promising.
She was really into the idea. I picked her up and drove us to the theater to watch something. We lived near a series of small towns, so there was only 2 screens playing movies at any time.
No.
Oh no.
As we've discussed, first date movies.
We got there and talked about which to see and ultimately decided on one.
Oh no.
I had no idea how badly I was about to fuck up my first ever lesbian date.
Oh.
I didn't know shit about religion and certainly never bothered to look it up. And I knew nothing about the movie except it probably had Jesus in it.
Oh, that's
no.
enough. That's enough for us.
plenty.
You can't pick that. Not the Jesus movie.
I settled in beside this beautiful and clever woman, her hand in mine, and realized I had it bad. She put her head on my shoulder, squeezed my hand as we settled in to watch The Passion of the Christ.
How did you not know? Like, how did you not know?
I have literal goosebumps.
The way
I
it's time,
can't.
you gotta
What
get up
the
and
fuck?
you gotta get up and leave. Like,
Oh no.
you would know. Like halfway through the movie, you'd be like, "All right, that's enough of that." You know, I think we
Do you
can.
want to leave?
I think we should just go. Actually,
She says
that
so.
movie's so long too.
Oh,
It's very.
and it's
my
all
God.
in Aramaic. No,
No.
like stop.
Can we talk about how I used to have a crush on
Jim Caviezel
before
Yeah.
he went
before he was Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah, he was hot.
He was hot back in,
What did happen to him?
I don't know.
I don't know, but nothing good.
Nothing.
I'll say.
It's safe to assume. I feel like I heard something. I feel like he had relationship news where he was shitty to an ex.
That's
But I can't. That could be slander. Allegedly.
Allegedly, he's a little bit on the Anyways, she says, so that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I will always hold someone while they cry, but I was utterly unprepared and unequipped to engage with my date's sudden, real-time crisis of faith and rejection of all things gay and great.
Oh, no.
And refusal to look away from whatever whitewashed Guantanamo bullshit was taking place on the screen at that time.
This took a turn. This is not what I was expecting.
There was no second date.
Yeah.
You
I
don't
bet.
say.
Yeah.
She was grappling with all of her. She was unpacking her religious trauma in real time.
Yeah.
Oh no,
yeah.
No.
Yeah. So her TLDR is, after spending months crushing and building the nerve, I took a beautiful single mother out to watch a movie without realizing she was a lapsed Catholic about
guilt.
to have a crisis of faith during the runtime of a meme-worthy anti-Semitic Christian snuff film. Anti-Semitic snuff film. It's I mean, where's the lie,
Dude,
I don't see it.
They played that in my church.
I'm sure they did.
And like there was like a viewing like party in my church, and all of it, I was like 11.
Oh no.
And like all of us were watching, and that movie is brutal.
It's violent.
It is so violent.
Oh, it's awful. Oh my God.
Wow. Well, mine's much lighter. Mine is a high school date.
Oh, I love.
And this is from our good friend who is a great writer who wrote to us just recently. He sent us a plethora. And this one, I know you guys will love because you do love a high school drama.
I do.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, ladies. So this one is a shame receipt rather than an actual date story.
Excellent.
In my freshman year of high school, there was a girl, let's call her Debbie, that I, for some reason, had an immediate crush on and would maintain this unrequited attraction for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Looking back, I have no idea why I was so drawn to her. She wasn't particularly kind or funny, and nobody at 14 is attractive, but I'm sure everybody has those people in their past that we just can't figure out what their appeal was.
Yes, I definitely do.
Yep.
100.
Gosh.
Especially at that age group. Like that age range, you're just like...
Middle school, I had crushes on like the most perplexing people. I look back and I'm just like, what the fuck was up with that?
Yeah,
That
your
was
brain is
weird.
not
It's like
brained
just because he had a skateboard? Like, I don't... Why?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like
I know that guy.
your
Right?
your little brain and body like growing is like starting to learn like is this what I like?
Is it?
Yeah,
Is
man.
It? Yeah.
Oof.
God, thank God I didn't commit.
Yeah, oh God.
Back then.
Ugh. Debbie's attitude toward me can best be described as mild toleration.
Oh my God.
It was clear that I had a crush on her, but also clear that I was way too timid to actually make a move. So I think she thought of me as mostly harmless, if a little irritating in how eager I was to be around her. Most of our interactions involved me offering to let her cheat off my tests.
Nice.
And the occasional AIM conversation that went something like this. AIM door opening sound. Debbie
best.
has signed in at 9:30 p.m. Me, 9:31 p.m. Hey, how's it going? Debbie signed off 9:34 p.m. AIM door slamming sound.
Dude,
to me, to myself.
also,
Stupid.
Speaking of nostalgia,
true.
I heard that AIM door opening sound on a TikTok recently, and I swear to God, it just like cured my depression for like 10 minutes. I was like,
know.
oh my God.
Who's here?
Simpler time.
Wow. That
Yeah.
sound is so specific.
Oh, man.
And also, we've all been there too,
Oh.
where it's just like you're super...
An AIM crush?
An AIM crush?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Please.
Man, I had an AIM crush from England. We talked all the time.
It was actually some old man's mom's basement.
I don't think so. I talked to him on the phone. Looking back, I'm like,
Ooh,
what was
girl.
that bill like?
We're almost the Dateline episode.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
no.
Yeah. Wonder what he's up
I
to.
don't even know what to do. The mother in me went like, oh no.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
The things we used to do on the internet, man.
Jeez.
Early internet.
Shady. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, I remember trying to find porn
Oh.
and how long it takes to download on
Oh
a dial-up.
my God. God forbid
And it came with a virus.
Yeah.
Oh, it literally.
All of
God
it.
forbid it get interrupted. Remember, like whenever you were like trying to download something on LimeWire or Napster,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
and then like it would get interrupted. And you're
Pirate
like, I've
Bay.
been trying to do this for 10 hours, and now I have to start over.
Oh, I want the new Linkin Park album.
Oh my God.
God damn it.
This is so fucking real right now. This is the most nostalgic episode ever.
It really is.
All this behavior is embarrassing enough in general, but I reached its shameful peak one winter day our freshman year. Now,
I'm already laughing. Oh no.
now I must apologize up front because this story involves a bit of math.
I'm out.
Okay.
Up until this point,
This is my aim door slamming shut.
Yeah.
up to this point, I had an entire semester to set a lunchtime routine. The cafeteria sold burritos that were $1.50 each day. So every day I would bring $3 in order to enjoy 2 burrito lunch.
Okay.
The burritos themselves were small and more akin to a Hot Pocket than what you would find at the modern Chipotle, meaning 2 was still enough to keep me satisfied. My school also had vending machines, but I rarely ventured over to them. They contained only luxury items like pop and candy, and high school was no time for somebody to start living above their means.
Oh, wow. How responsible. I was so irresponsible with that shit.
Oh, me too.
I was totally responsible. I was like, vending
what was you
machine food.
guys' item in the cafeteria? Mine was taco salad.
Oh, pizza. That
Pizza.
rectangle pizza shit.
Well, at my
with those little
school-
squares of pepperoni.
I loved those. But at my school, they also sold, like, they would go out and get, like, pizzas, like, from a pizza place and sell it by the slice, like you were in fucking Brooklyn or
Oh my
something.
God, are they making money off of
They
it?
Yes.
were making money
Yeah.
off us for sure because they were
Wow.
selling it like it was like
They're like,
$2.50
here's
a
your
slice
first
or
lesson in
something.
capitalism,
Yeah,
bitches.
yeah, 100%. And I hook, line, and sinker, living above my means,
Yeah.
100%.
On the aforementioned Winter's Day, we enter our second period classroom to find the teacher is not there. No substitute teacher has been arranged, so we are told to just spend the second period in the cafeteria doing fuck all. That is, I know this. I've lived this life. Debbie and I have second period together, so naturally my goal on the walk down to the cafeteria is to arrange myself in such a way that I can sit near her, maybe even next to her, at one of our long bench-style lunch tables. I am partially successful in this, sitting only 3 to 4 places away. And across the narrow table. In my mind, Debbie is in the center of everyone's attention, holding court in the cafeteria while I'm finally close enough to be part of her inner
honey.
circle.
She wrote so many notes to her girlfriends about you. Like, where she's just like, God.
She didn't. What are you talking about? She did not. He did not exist to her. Are you kidding? She never wrote one single note with his name in it. Not one. He does not exist in her realm. That is the notes she's sending are about the guy that she's sitting 3 to 4 spaces down across the table from.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, and he's in the bad kids. He's one of the bad kids. He smokes pot. To everybody else involved, we are just sitting at a lunch table in random seats. This is great, I think. I'm part of the gang. Can't wait to have 40 minutes of my time with Debbie and her friends.
Oh.
Maybe I'll even make her laugh.
Baby.
I'm quite certain that I didn't say anything that made her laugh. As near as I can recall, I probably tried to add a few things to an ongoing group conversation before realizing nobody was paying attention to me and petering off. Oh no! Or I'd laugh a little too hard to something somebody said to enhance my feeling of belonging. Can you just, that feeling?
Yeah,
No.
it's awful. It's terrible.
Shame
Yeah.
receipt
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh man, I'm perfectly content with this scrap of popularity. But then fate had grander things in mind for me.
Oh.
All of a sudden, Debbie makes eye contact with me from across the table. The queen of my court, looking at me. This is my moment. Hey, she says, as though she's just noticed that I've been sitting there for the past 20 minutes. Want to buy me a pop?
Whoa.
There is absolutely nothing more that I would like to do
Debbie's
at that
coming into
moment.
her power.
Yes, of course.
Oh.
Like, that's what I mean. I'm like, I think she knew he existed because it's like
But she's not writing notes to her friends about him.
she's getting that aim every day of just like, fucking this guy, you know?
Door slam.
She's like, I can get a pop.
I can get a pop. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if my mother were on her deathbed and the only thing that could save her was a pop, I'd tell her she better wheel herself down to the vending machine on her own because this pop is for Debbie, my one true love. Sure, I say, probably with too much enthusiasm. Okay, can you grab me a Sprite? I likely replied something cringy like coming right up.
Oh my
But I
God.
honestly don't remember.
Oh, sweetie.
At this
honey.
point, I had a fateful choice to make. On the more affordable side, there was a vending machine that offered cans of pop for $1.25. But if you wanted the premium experience, another machine offered bottles for $1.75. There's
for Debbie, your one true love,
honey, there's no way in hell I'm returning to that table with a bare minimum. Debbie deserves the best.
Yep.
Wow.
Fortunately, I'm flush with $3 in cash in anticipation of my daily double burrito. So ludicrously expensive
gonna
bottle.
go without lunch.
It is.
Literally.
Oh my God.
I just mathed. He can't do a burrito.
No.
If he gets her a bottle.
No.
I retrieved my costly quest item and returned to Debbie post haste.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't be surprised if I skipped on my way back to her. So elated was I to have the opportunity to do something that would get my crush to notice me. Here you go, I say.
Oh,
Thanks, she says again.
sweetie.
Then doesn't look or talk to me for the rest of our free period in the cafeteria.
Lessons were learned
Yes.
that day.
Yep.
If there is a moment that could have inspired the melting smiley face emoji, this is the one.
Angel.
As if that weren't devastating enough, she only takes a few sips of the Sprite before tossing the bottle, still mostly full, into the trash can as we exit for third period.
It might as well have been his heart.
Oh my
If I'm honest.
Yeah. Threw the whole thing away.
It reminds me, the face that I'm thinking about is the face that Ralph Wiggum makes in The Simpsons whenever Lisa
Yes.
doesn't return, and they slowed it down. You can see the actual moment where his heart breaks.
Oh my God.
no!
I
Cringe moment.
choose you.
Oh,
It's a picture of a train.
oh no.
Oh my God.
Horrible. Oh.
Unfortunately for me, this unwise investment in the vending machine was only the beginning of my woes for the day. Remember how much money I had? I started with the day with. I began with $3. I dropped $1.75 to make sure that my crush got her superior beverage option. This meant I only had $1.25 left come lunchtime, which was not enough to purchase, as you said, Christina, even one small burrito.
Oh, no.
To this day, I'm not sure why I didn't just ask a friend for a quarter or a few dollars so I could at least eat something that day. Maybe I just felt like throwing myself a pity party to celebrate the progress I'd made with Debbie. Not sure, but I definitely made the day worse for myself by going hungry at lunch. To top it all off, the day was also my birthday, and I guess nobody at school knew because nobody told me happy birthday the entire day.
Oh my
God. I am so sad for
It's the
him.
most devastating story.
Oh my God, Debbie, if you listen now, listen. We all came
all
into
did
our
shitty
powers. We all
things.
did shitty
We
things,
did,
but
yeah.
I hope you find him on Facebook
And
be
send
like,
him a
Yeah, it's
bottle
time
of
to.
soda.
It's time to apologize.
it's time to say, I used you for a spray.
Yeah. And not
Sorry.
even. It's just like, I used you to feel powerful because
Yeah.
she tricked
3 sips of Sprite.
threw it away.
It was definitely an inauspicious way to begin my 14th year. And if I ever become a supervillain, this day would probably become my
Your
good origin story.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I learned nothing from this experience and continue to have a crush on Debbie until graduation. As embarrassing as this day was, I can always look back at it as a reminder to not give so much of your time and energy to someone who clearly isn't interested. If somebody already isn't into you, no matter how much effort on your part will convince them otherwise.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good lesson.
And you'll probably just make them feel really uncomfortable with all the attention they're getting from you.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, for sharing my shame with the rest of the world. I apologize again for the entire thing was essentially a thinly veiled story problem with a standardized math test.
If you have $3
And you buy Debbie
And you buy
a Superior soda.
oh my
Wow.
God.
How many
Wow.
burritos can you get? Zero.
Zero.
Zero burritos on your
On your
birthday.
Oh, not
Oh
even
my
one birthday burrito.
God.
Now I'm like kind of hungry for like a fucking bean and cheese burrito.
Honestly. Yum, yum,
Taco
yum.
Bell.
Okay. This was written to us by a listener. Hi, Queens.
Hey.
I've been a listener for a while now, and I absolutely love your podcast. I'm trying to get better at storytelling, so excuse me if I don't make sense.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
She
Great.
makes sense. I've read this.
Okay, great.
Background. My high school boyfriend of 1 year dumped me when I was in my second semester of college, and it shattered my world.
Yeah.
It took me an additional year to recover from it. He was my first love and only guy I've had a long-term relationship with. That was the only experience I had in dating. I was 20 and working part-time at a drive-through coffee shop. I loved that job because it helped me get over that breakup and meet new people. We had this guy that was a regular who came every day, sometimes twice a day, to order a large iced Red Bull with the surprise flavor.
What? Red Bull?
Red Bull. That drink was $7 for a 32-ounce drink that had 16 ounces of Red Bull in it and 2 ounces of flavoring.
I don't like that.
Flavoring.
Oh my God.
They're like, here's your bubblegum Red Bull, bitch.
The things we used to do to our bodies.
I mean, that
God.
I would like to chastise them, but
You're like, but yesterday
it was
I
a
had
hard
one.
party weekend for me,
Oh my
and my
God.
body is unhappy with me
Again,
at the moment.
Consequences.
Yeah.
For poor people.
Because if we were rich, we would have had that IV. Of
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know, fluids
Yeah.
running through us. Fine.
And I would see him most of my shifts I worked. And I have never actually had a full conversation with him or knew anything about him. One day, he came during a busy time on his motorcycle and ordered his large iced Red Bull surprise.
Wow. That guy's a cool guy.
Hey, cool guy.
He didn't have a cup holder and tried balancing his drink on his motorcycle. Why? Why would you do that?
What are you doing, bro?
Lo and behold, he ended up dropping his motorcycle on him and the drink with my coworkers and at least 5 other car clients as witnesses. Why would you do that?
So-
You needed your Red Bull that badly.
He was like, I'm going to impress this bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna impress her on my motorcycle.
Yeah. And then I'm going to die.
To crash it.
He drove away with what little dignity he had.
Yeah.
I didn't see him wipe out, but I felt so bad that I decided to give him my number and a free drink. I love that you're just like, I felt so bad for him. I gave him my phone number.
I know.
Like, oh my God.
A free drink would have been plenty.
That's enough.
That's
Yeah.
more than enough, actually.
He came back in a flashy Mustang,
Okay.
and I gave him the free drink and my number. He learned his lesson. He's like, no more motorcycles.
Yeah.
He texted me later that day. I learned his name was Nick, and he was 2 years older than me. I was thanking God he wasn't an older guy with a family or something, and he was also pretty attractive. The bar is so low.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
I was really vibing with him, so I asked him out on a date for later that week. We were texting every day, and one day I decided to ask him if he was available for lunch 2 days before our date. So they're like really vibing. They're like, let's not wait for our weekend
Official
date.
date.
Let's go
Yeah.
out sooner. He agreed and picked me up at my house. We picked up Chick-fil-A and drove to a baseball field he used to go to as a kid. Why we didn't eat at the restaurant or meet there, I can't remember. There began the most boring 3 hours of my life. He started talking about his childhood and every single thing that has ever happened to him, pretty much right up until our date. He would not shut up and didn't.
He's so nervous.
And I didn't get to talk pretty much at all. He wasn't rude. He was just super excited to talk to me. So he wasn't aware of what he was doing. He eventually pulled up his Facebook account and showed me every picture he had on there and a story to go with it.
But
And
bitch, I'm not doing an A&E biography on
on
you.
you, am I right? Should I be taking notes?
And it's so funny when you do go out on dates with someone like this, they're always like, God, you're just so easy to talk to.
You're
and
such a
it's
good
like,
listener.
yeah,
giving
I
me
had
no options.
choice. Yeah, exactly.
And when he ran out of photos, he went to his mom's Facebook account and showed me those photos. And then the same with his dad's account. I was seeing this guy's baby photos and had only started talking to him 3 days prior.
I got to be honest. I know this anxiety. Like you can't shut up.
Oh my God.
Anxiety.
Whoa, wow. No, and I'm also, this is how awful I am. 98% of the time, I will say, I don't want to see pictures I'm not in. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
I love seeing people's kid photos, but it has to be preempted on something. Like, you know, like we had to have been talking about it, or like I'm
Right.
showing you mine, you're showing me yours, something. Like, cause I'm just like, to go through do you know how long it would take to go through your entire Facebook and then go through your mom's and your dad's?
and all those pictures, and they're basically strangers. First date.
Yeah.
This
Here's
is
the
most
time.
care.
Here's the
fucking
time we
boring
went
thing.
to Disneyland. Here's
Who
the time.
cares, Todd?
Exactly.
Nick, I guess
Nick.
his name is. Jesus.
And he went into detail about every surgery and injury he had because he was a former baseball player. Peaked in high school much. He also showed me his scars from his elbow surgery.
Jesus Christ.
He was boring, was so bad at being funny, and I was trapped in that car with him for far too long. They didn't even get out of the car. They ate in the car. They ate Chick-fil-A in the car, looking at Facebook pictures.
Wow.
We eventually went on that next date together. And
because you're like, at that point, you're like,
I know everything about you.
There's nothing else you can tell me. Like, the next date is going to be a date.
And part of you must be like, well, if I know everything, now he's going to have to ask about me.
Right,
or
at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
We eventually went on that next date and pretty soon became official. This was one of the worst parts. I asked him if we should be official, and he said, if you want.
Oh,
it's bad.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
That was pretty much the tone for the rest of our relationship. I should have ended things there, but I didn't. It then got worse when I learned about him, and I got the ick when he told me he didn't shower often or brush his teeth.
Honey,
and he had
that's not a brag. What the fuck is wrong with you?
What's happening?
This guy's an oversharer.
Oversharer.
And an undercleaner.
Mm-hmm. I was desperate for attention, so I kept on seeing him because it was the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh,
honey.
Yep.
Honey, I'm going to give you a hug.
Yeah.
Come on over
Now
here.
listen. This is where we're not an advice podcast, but
okay.
3 years later, we are still together. And I'm still trying to break up with him. I will give y'all peace of mind that he is now brushing his teeth and showering because of me. That's good.
Well,
if it wasn't clear enough that my bar is on the ground for men, I'm not concerned that he will propose to me one day. He's the type of dude that will date a girl for 10 years and that thought doesn't come into his mind.
Girl, you do not get your youth back. Do not waste any more of your hot years on somebody that doesn't think that you're a queen.
So that is the last sentence is SOS, help me before my youth is all gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So girl, we're not an advice podcast.
We talked about it at the beginning. You pulled the Tiger Woods. Tell him he's going on vacation. You booked a vacation.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I mean, I know it's hard. I know it's difficult to do. And you can, like, it's so easy to feel stuck in situations. I get it.
It took me a year. I decided that I didn't want to be in my marriage anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when my ex decided, but it took a year for us to finally break up, and that last year of both of us being done. So I get it. It's easy to be like, fucking leave, blah blah blah, but
it's hard.
It's hard.
I mean, and especially like she doesn't have a lot of dating experience. She'd only had like one boyfriend prior to this. You don't know all the rules. Like it can feel very tough. So I don't know. I can't just be like, just go do it. You know what I mean? But you need to find love for yourself.
Yeah.
And self-esteem. You know what I mean? To know that like you are going to to be just fine.
This is the thing that's the most difficult about a breakup. And that is friends. Because if you have lived together or you've had a relationship for 3 years, you have a lot of friends that are dual friends now, that know both of you, that are on both sides of this situation. It's really difficult. So you got to kind of line up your friend sitch, I think, first. Get your corner behind you, get your corner lined up, get your coach, get your good girl, bad girl situation, right? The girl who's going to be like, no matter what you do is the right option. And the girl who's like, motherfucker, he ain't shit. You need to get those two friends lined up. Right. Get that situation sorted. And then you just got to rip the Band-Aid off.
You just got to rip the Band-Aid off.
Like there's not going to be an easy way.
You're always allowed to leave. That's something that my mom constantly says to me, like, you're not stuck. You're always allowed to leave. And you don't have to give anybody justification or reasons. It doesn't need to be a long conversation if you don't want it to be. You're allowed to just say, I'm not happy and I don't want to do this anymore.
And you're not responsible for his feelings.
Yep.
Like, I know that like you don't want to hurt people, right? But it's like at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. That's going to make you happy.
Yep.
So he's going to have to figure that out on his own. Like you can't be responsible for the way he feels about it.
Yeah.
You know,
but yeah, it's going to, I'll tell you, I've told the story before I had that moment where like, I know I'm in a bad thing and it was hard to get out of. And I literally was just like, looked at myself every day in the mirror and was like, you're better than this. You deserve better than this. Like I literally had to like just pep talk myself into a new situation.
Affirmations are actually really powerful.
So powerful.
I think that that's actually good advice. Like every day, every day, remind yourself that like you are better than this. You are worthy of the life that you want to create for yourself.
And you're worthy of the love that you want. You know, there's no time like the present. To start loving yourself that way and to start, you know, putting away the people that don't love you like that.
And I think that too, like when it comes down to it, when you're talking about like, you know, you want to not hurt people's feelings, at some point you have to also know if you're not happy in this relationship, you're not benefiting this guy either. So you're actually doing everyone a favor by just making the right decision and just committing to be done with it.
Yeah, there's probably a girl out there that doesn't want to shower and brush her teeth.
There you go.
They can go be dirty together. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for writing in. That's really brave to. I mean, it's brave to put something like that out there and ask for help. So keep us updated, and we are cheering for you.
Yes, we're rooting for you. We're sending you so much good energy right now. Yeah.
Well, you guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Sounds good.
All right.
And we're back. Christina.
Yes. Okay. So I got very lucky. I was in Vegas for Podcast Movement Evolutions last week, and it was my week for the Tainted Love. So it was kind of a my plan for it was to get into my hotel room, turn on HLN, which plays old episodes of Forensic Files,
just all day.
You're like, I'll catch a Tainted Love.
I'll catch one. Won't pop me in the face. So at around 3:00 in the morning on Thursday, I happened to catch the back half of this one, and I would love to share it with you because I think we can all use a little bit more confidence, charisma, self-esteem. And so I'm going to tell you the Tainted Love story of Jill Coit.
Oh, okay.
All right. So Jill Coit was born in the 40s, unsure of the date. It changes depending on.
Oh, she's one of those. She's fantastic.
Sometimes, you know,
it's ambiguous. You know, I want to be like that when I'm old. I'm like, sometime in the 90s. I was born at some, so then I can just like lie about my age.
Yeah, constantly. Yeah. She had a normal childhood. You know, they lived in New Orleans, so she was just like, she had a normal childhood. Her father and mother, like her mother was stay at home, like everything was good. Yeah. She had like a Louisiana accent, started to become like a very beautiful teen. And then they moved to the Midwest, Indiana, where she
pulled a lot of Debbies, didn't she? She used her power.
Got Sprites.
So many
Sprites on Sprites.
Yeah. bottles.
Swimming in it.
Bottle service. So she, you know, started her marriage career. Career.
I love it.
Early.
I love that for her.
Dropped out of school. She's like, I'm going to marry this guy. And she had a plan right from the start, like in her teens. Her plan, bag a guy.
Okay.
Who's got some queens.
Yeah.
And stay with them for like a year and then move the fuck on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know.
Listen. Everybody's got to have a plan.
Love a woman with a plan.
Yeah. So her first number one was a man named Larry Ehan. So 1961 was when she was married. By 1962, she was divorced and she took all of his money.
God damn. She really followed through.
She did. She used that money to go to Northwestern. So she moved back to New Orleans.
Like the college?
Yeah. Is that... Wait.
It's in Chicago.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she went to Northwestern, then moved back to New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she ended up finishing her school then. Like,
she knew what she wanted.
Okay,
like
listen,
honestly, I feel like she's a Virgo. I feel like she's got strong, like a woman with a plan energy.
Yeah, I wish we actually knew her birthday because I'm like, the energy she's giving.
She had a
It's
vision board.
frenetic.
She was like, I know exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yes.
1 year in, I'm gonna put in 1 year.
Exactly. And just
Take that money, go to school.
There you
do
go.
all of the things.
Listen, I'm proud of her. That's awesome.
So yeah,
The school part, anyway.
number 2 was Stephen Moore. And that was in 1964. They end up having a son barely 9 months later in 1965. And then she just dips. They never really got legally divorced until 1967.
Okay.
But in the meantime, she married, in quotes, number 3, William Clark Coit Jr. He went by Clark. Married him in 1966, so that's not a legal
Right.
marriage.
Okay.
And he was, by all accounts, like this really amazing guy. Like he ends up adopting her son, Seth. They end up having another 2 sons together. They moved to Houston. He's like travels a lot for work. And she's like
Perfect.
wilding out.
Yeah.
She's like, this guy gives me money and I
care
can
of my
cheat on
kids.
him
Yeah,
all the
and live
time.
here.
And this is the best. Never leave this situation. So this is actually her longest marriage because he finally is like, all right, I'm done with you like constantly cheating on me. Like, so
Is this marriage number 3?
this is marriage number 3.
But it doesn't count, right? Because they got married when she was already married. So
Correct.
This is not
so
even
this is not even a legal marriage.
binding marriage. Great.
So yeah. So in 1972, March of 1972, he files for divorce. But before the court date, he is shot in the back and killed. So police are like, Jill, did you kill
Jill, honey.
Jill.
Sweetie.
She was like, no,
Did you kill?
what?
And she's like, she says nothing and puts herself in a mental institution. Checks in, is just like, I'm having a hard day. and then
I need some alone time.
The Houston police are like, well, I guess that's that. And then they never pick it up. Yeah. Yeah. And not only that,
You
Jill
have one job.
Jill would
one
go
job.
on
The only
to
job.
keep his name. And
Yeah,
so she doesn't go back to her maiden name. Like whenever she gets divorced, she always goes back to Jill Coit. Her last name is actually Billiot.
Well, because this is all her kids' names, right? So her
I'm
sons
guessing, yeah.
probably have all this. All have this name.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense.
But still, if your dude faces family,
Yeah.
like what
Sus.
the fuck? So okay, so she gets out of the hospital. She's like, all right, so there's no proof, and I'm just gonna move from Houston back to New Orleans. I'm gonna hire this lawyer, Louis DeRosa, and make sure to get my shit together because now she's got like 3 husbands' coins, right?
Yeah.
She's coins on coins.
Hope she has a financial advisor. Keep that shit straight.
Hopefully she didn't put it in that one bank.
SVB, yeah, it's gone. She's like, I got coins now. I've got a lawyer. I've got my shit together. Everything seems good over here with this Texas situation, this whole pesky murder. So I'm going to move to California. And so this one is actually not a husband. She makes this guy, Bruce Johansson. He's like an older man. She's like, you should adopt me.
Oh my
Oh, wow. That is fucking bold.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd never considered that.
Big balls.
I
on
really
Brett.
feel like that opens up a whole new world of possibilities. I should go find
Listen.
Yeah.
an old rich guy to adopt me.
Yeah.
Honey. I'm in.
And he does.
Oh my God.
He does. He adopts her, his new daddy.
Bruce.
And daddy leaves her his entire estate.
I am not going to lie to
Bruce.
you. I gotta hand it to her. That is impressive.
Yeah, within months, she's able to
That's-
get this accomplished. So
Are we
feel-
just not trying hard
We are
enough?
not.
honestly,
Clearly,
I'm
no.
like, am I lazy? Am I like, or do I just consider other people's feelings too much?
Does
or-
she
Too
teach a
much.
class? Like, I would sign up for that master class. I
Honestly.
need to know. I need to know.
Yeah, at least do TikToks or something.
Because you're telling me I can be a sugar baby without having to fuck an old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because at this time she's also, within few months she gets him to adopt her, and then a few months later he's dead. So
Interesting.
now she's got 3 husbands' coins and
Daddy
Rich
coins.
daddy.
coins.
Daddy.
Wow.
Meanwhile, she's moved on. Number 4 is a Marine named Donald Brody. less than 2 years, they end up marrying.
I feel like he doesn't have as much coin, but she doesn't care now.
No, she doesn't need it, I guess. I bet he's hot.
Yeah, probably. Because she ends up like, in order to try to like fuck with him and get money, extort him, she's like, oh, I'm pregnant. I'm actually pregnant. So she would actually like go to friends and borrow their baby. And for a few hours, can I borrow your baby for a few hours?
Imagine.
Oh my God.
Imagine.
And then she's like, this is your baby.
I have baby.
This is yours. He's like, when were you pregnant?
You don't remember?
You don't remember?
He's like, that's a whole ass baby. No, there's no way.
It's yours. It's your baby. That doesn't work.
We have to do try harder. Here, guys. We have friends with babies. We have to
do.
try harder.
I mean, I really, I feel like she's just kind of.
We got to do better.
You throw everything against the wall and just see. You win some, you lose some. You just have to go in with that mentality of just ask.
She
ask
really
what you
is
want.
like, if you're talking about affirmation, she's like, I am lucky and everything goes my way. That TikTok affirmation, she's living it. Well, okay. So number 5 actually is a familiar name. It's her divorce attorney, Louis DeRosa, the one that helped her get divorced and helped set up the paperwork for daddy to adopt her.
Wow.
So
he knows all. He knows who she is.
He knows who she is,
and going in eyes open.
And she manages to get him to marry her for number 5.
Well, he's special.
Yeah.
I'm about to change my whole life. I really feel like
they get married in 1976. They divorce later that year. And then a couple months later, get remarried.
What? Why? So they got married twice within the course of a year.
Yes. And I'm like,
this is a forensic files.
I was half awake and I was like, what the fuck is happening? I got up out of bed. And I had my like little desk set up with my computer and everything like that. And I wrote really big on the pad, Jill Coit.
Yeah, like, I don't want to forget this.
I'll deal with it in the morning, but this is it. Put a pin in it. Because I'm like, we're about halfway done with marriages.
How
now.
many are we at? Like what number? Did we lose count?
We were on number 5. Okay.
Oh, okay. Married and divorcing. Okay. Yeah.
But also she married him twice. So 6 marriages, 5 husbands.
Also, yes, as somebody that is so fucking stressed about all the stuff to do this year to plan a wedding.
One wedding.
One a year?
Well, she can't be having real weddings. Like this is
courthouse
situation, right? Yeah, because like there is just no. I mean, I would never plan a wedding again. So I that many? No.
Yeah. So number 6 is Eldon Metzger. This was an illegal marriage because, she had remarried Louis DeRosa and
up and left.
Doesn't actually divorce him until like 1985, like legally divorced. So we got a couple illegal marriages coming up.
So this is all. She's still in her 30s, right?
Yeah, 1976, and
she was born in the 40s.
30s.
Yeah, so she's in her 30s, and we're on husband number 6.
Yep.
Cool. Cool.
Living her life.
Living her life. And, okay, so, marriage, divorced less than a year. Number 7, Carl Steele was a teacher. This is also an illegal marriage because she wasn't yet divorced from Louis DeRosa. Carl was a teacher, but he's getting close to retirement. And he's like, you know what? I love this really cute town. Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
Wow, what a cute name for a town.
And
so charming.
Would love to retire, use my funds to purchase a bed and breakfast. And she's like, I love that journey for us.
I love that for us.
I love that cute little B&B in Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
Wow.
So she's like, let's go. Let's pick it out. Then you have to go back to teach school, but I'll take care of it. She never put his name on the deed.
Of course she didn't.
Wow.
Of course she didn't.
So it's hers.
Great.
And then she's like, goodbye.
She fucking stole his dream.
Yes. Wow. She stole his fucking retirement.
Wow.
So yeah, it stole his money and everything like that. And now she has a B&B and 7 husbands coin and 1 dead daddy. Yeah.
Daddy.
So yeah, she's stacked. And
that one was the most hurtful.
That's
Right.
fucked
That
up.
was
It's
very
fucked up.
Yeah.
This man is not like some rich dude.
He's not rich.
No.
Yeah, he was a teacher.
He's
Yeah.
and she straight up just stole his dream.
Yeah.
She does not give a fuck. I mean, that's really what it comes down
There it
to.
is.
If you want to
Yeah.
be able to like do stuff like this, you cannot
You have to be the
care.
most malignant of narcissists.
Yes.
You have to be
You
a
cannot
fucking
care
sociopath.
about anybody else's anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
This person has zero empathy, zero conscience.
Yeah. Yeah. This is definitely like psychotic behavior.
Yeah, this is awful. So number 8 is Jerry Boggs. Now, Jerry Boggs was a resident of Steamboat Springs like his whole life and is by all accounts like a lifetime bachelor. Like he was in his early 40s, had never married. He was a Vietnam vet, incredibly intelligent and well-read and well-regarded within the community.
Easiest targets though.
He owned a hardware store. He's just like, everyone described him as like, he was incredibly authentic. Like he was very honest, authentic, good person. So in 1991, he got married to our Jill. This was also illegal because I think we're still like married, divorced.
Yeah.
They did get divorced in 1985 from Louis, but I think number 7 might have been a legal marriage. Anyway, it's complicated. The timeline, they said actually later in a trial, spoiler alert, the judge wouldn't let them enter this into evidence, but somebody had done like a chart of like the overlap and stuff. And I'm like, that paralegal must have been like.
Do you ever get nervous that you are going to meet someone like this in real life and be like, because they have to be so incredibly charming, because none of like these people aren't all like stupid.
I never worry
They're
about
not.
this. I don't have enough money for anybody to come for me like this.
But not all these people have money.
Yeah,
like
that's the thing.
and sometimes they might be manipulating you for another reason. Like not maybe they're not
Just
motivated by
control.
money, just control. I mean, because like I don't know that I've ever met anyone like this IRL, but like, what if you did? Like,
Yeah,
how
that
would that
really charismatic person in
would
the
you be
office?
taken? Do you ever think that like you could be taken in by somebody like that? I mean, I'd have to leave open the possibility because all these people aren't stupid.
I'm pretty mistrustful. Like if people like me too much, too
Same,
fast,
actually.
I actually am like,
Same.
I
That's
put
I'm
true.
the
walls up.
opposite. I'm like, oh, they like me. They
You're like,
really like
you're like,
me.
of course they love me.
Oh, this is great. And my tail wags.
So yeah, in 1991, they get married, and then she goes on to say, "Oh my gosh, Jerry, I'm pregnant. I'm so excited." And he's stoked for this. He's like, "Yeah, you know what? Like I'm in my early 40s. Like I'm in love with this woman. This woman has captured my heart in a way no one else has." And so he's like, begins buying baby stuff and decorating the room
Jerry.
and everything like that. And then she starts to like, he sees cracks in her story because she's like, I've only been married like one time and like all this other stuff. And so he's getting inklings that something's like messed up. So he hires a private detective.
Oh, no.
Jerry,
Jerry, you're about to die.
He hires a private detective that finds out about all of her marriages and the fact that she had a hysterectomy a few years before.
Oh.
And that she's much older than the 35 that she told him that she was at the time. So
hold on. She told, because at this point she's well into her 40s. She has to be.
yeah,
Like-
no, she would go on to say, she's like, I, played 35 to 50. And I'm like, what?
That's a range. That is a broad range.
Yeah, that styling makes a world of difference. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
I mean, but like that, to say that like you are putting yourself up on LA casting,
Bold.
like what? Because you're like, I play 35 to 50.
That's
I mean,
you're
tracks.
available for a lot of different opportunities.
Wow. Because I mean, to be able to pull off 35 when you're even like in your mid to late 40s is like, that's impressive.
Yeah. So married in 1991, private investigator. Gary's like, we're getting this shit annulled in late 1991. So this is like less than a year. And he's
Good
like,
for Jerry.
For Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry
Yeah.
did the work.
Yeah, he did.
And then civil suit starts happening because he's like, bitch, like this is not cool. Like this is bigamy. This is like all this other stuff. Fraudulent behavior. Because the main thing that caused the civil suit is that in order to put the nail in the coffin for Carl, remember she stole his B&B dream.
Yeah. Oh my God, Carl.
Baby Carl.
She had told him that he was like just a vindictive ex, like awful. So Gary was like, I'll put 100,000 lien on the B&B, so that would make it impossible for Carl to get to it. So then Gary's like, getting this shit annulled. I'm fucking suing you, like all this other stuff. And so she's like, ruh-roh, like all my dirty laundry is about ready to come out. So yeah, she runs off. I was gonna say escapes.
Yeah,
of course,
and marries number 9, Roy Carroll.
Dude,
you have so much money. Why do you keep getting married? Just relax. Okay.
She does have a lot of money, but she spends. She spends coins. She's bad with the coins. She did not do enough of the story math problems from earlier, so it just flows like water. She's like, she can always get married again. She can refill the coffers.
She got so many free Sprites when she was young. She never got to be responsible with money.
She never had to buy her own Sprite.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
I mean, how much could a Sprite cost, really?
Right.
$10.
$10.
How much could a banana cost?
So yeah, they get married in 1992, but then she absconds. She goes back to Colorado or whatever to like deal with this civil suit, and she ends up hooking up with this guy Mike Backus, who's a telephone repairman. This maybe husband number 10. She ends up using his name on like a lot of like Jill Backus or whatever. She uses his last name. But
did she divorce the other guy?
Unknown.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Unknown.
Wow.
So yeah, she's just like literally just running around. And so she's with Mike Backus now, maybe married, maybe not. So maybe 9 husbands, maybe 10. But his main purpose in her life, how he's providing benefit for her, is that he is going around asking people for her who can kill Gary or Jerry Boggs. He's like,
it's Jerry, right?
Yeah, Jerry.
Okay, yeah.
Jerry Boggs. It's with a G, so sometimes it gets confusing. Yeah, so because this civil court case is getting ready to come up, and she's like, I gotta get this. Like,
I'd love to go ahead and get this out of the way.
Exactly.
You know?
So she outsources it.
The number of people willing to help you kill someone is surprisingly high.
Too high.
When we do these Tainted Loves, I'm like the number of people who are like, I helped her. She told me she wanted to kill somebody, so I helped her find a hitman, or I did it for her, or like what? I'm just like, how are there this many people?
A bold question to ask somebody that you just met
it's
like
just
a couple months ago.
You don't mind taking someone's life away, do you?
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah,
that's not an issue for you, right?
Soups cash. Well, she even asks her son Seth to help her out with it, and he hangs up.
Yeah, thank you. Good job, Seth.
He's like, I don't want
Seth is in
anything to do
therapy.
anything.
I hope that he's read that book, that like Child of Narcissistic Parents or whatever.
Right. Seriously. So on October 22nd, 1993, conveniently just a few days before this case goes to trial, Jerry was somebody that was like such a creature of habit. Like you went to the same place for breakfast every day. Like you knew like, oh, it's Wednesday at 10. Like you would know where Jerry was.
That's why I like to keep it unpredictable.
Exactly.
You gotta keep people on their toes.
That's
You
right.
Can't go to the same place every day.
Exactly. So
Or never leave your house.
he was supposed to be at his usual place, like when that day at like 10. He wasn't. So alarm bells immediately go off, and his brother goes to find him and find Jerry dead. He had been
Poor Jerry.
They had used a stun gun on him, shot and beaten him with a shovel.
Jesus
my
Christ.
God.
That's too much.
It's doing extra.
You don't need to do all that.
No. So neighbors actually, like, so police came and neighbors were like, we saw something suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ladies was like, I looked out the window and there was a man and a female, and they were both wearing costumes and fake mustaches.
Both of them. She's wearing a fake mustache. Ma'am.
And so she's like, I went inside and locked the door.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly right.
I'm going to close these blinds.
No one is
And
home.
I think that is the most relatable content ever. If you see two people outside on the
You're like,
street,
nope.
Heading them right back inside and locking the doors.
and then I was like, but also I would still be looking for
oh,
the
I'm
blinds.
in the peephole. I'm in that peephole.
You're
Like,
like, why are they doing it? Like an obvious female and a male, and they're both wearing those like sabotage video fakes or like fucking mustaches. She's like, no,
Not today.
No.
That's enough. That's enough.
So they're like, okay, and like the poor family is dealing with Jerry's death, and they have the funeral, and witnesses say they saw them in the costumes with the fake mustaches at the funeral.
what?
Shut
What?
What? And they just sped off in a red car.
No.
You have to
No.
shut up right now.
I can't. No.
What?
No.
What is happening?
No.
Why? How are these people real?
So they pick them up, obviously, because they're like, oh, okay, this bitch like had a court case. Like, let's pick him up. And she keeps insisting. She's like, when did Jerry die? And they won't tell her. So she's like, they're trying to get her to talk. She's like, I'm not going to talk because, you know, you don't know when he actually died. And if I tell you where I was on that day, you'll just lie about his time of death to convict me or whatever. It's not wrong.
I mean,
we're also kind of like, these are the same people who were like, well,
no, this is a different city, but yeah, technically, yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like, you can fault Jill for a lot of things, but thinking that cops are shady,
yeah,
can't fault her for that.
game recognizes game, right?
Right.
Yeah, she's like, ain't my first one.
Not my first time around. Yeah, exactly.
So she's like, yeah, we were out camping somewhere, and she's like, also just starts maligning Jerry. Won't like put any of the stuff that she says about him in it because it's obviously like
bullshit.
Right. Yeah. And so they're like suspicious. They're very suspicious. Jill decides, you know what? The U.S. isn't for me anymore, so I'm going to go to Mexico City. And
for no particular reason.
No.
Signed over
decided
power of attorney to her son, Seth. And so it looked like she was going to get away with it. She was just chilling in Mexico. However, she ran out of all those husbands' coins. And I guess, you know, if you can't speak the language, she couldn't find another husband or whatever. So she had to come back to Colorado. So yeah, like
all the states, she had to come back to Colorado.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, there's a lot of places you could go. I feel like yeah, you didn't murder
It's a
somebody.
big country.
Yeah. And on December 23rd, 1993, Jill and Michael were both arrested and held on a $5 million bond. And so, yeah, they go on trial. Of course, like they are life in prison. They're like guilty. It takes the jury no time.
Right. 3 seconds later.
Yeah.
We actually don't need to go back. I think we're good here.
Yep.
Yeah. They were each life in prison. Couldn't stop her, though. She's like, I can still do some stuff. So
yeah. Look, if you're resourceful enough.
In May 1998, she recruited a friend to place a personal ad online for her.
How does she even have friends at this point? I mean,
she's so charismatic. You just can't.
You gotta cut off
that's
Jill.
Just Jill.
Like
that's Jill.
Jill did some wacky things today. Like what?
So yeah, on discovery, the Colorado Department of Corrections promptly was like, "Get that shit out of there." They had it removed. In December of 1998, Jill tried again by placing an internet personal ad.
Jesus
Christ. Want U.S. citizenship? Marry an inmate.
Oh my God.
The fuck? Why?
The U.S. Department of Naturalization and Immigration found that and shut down.
Does she have some kind of marriage fetish? Like what? Because for what?
Truly.
What would you even need to get married? You're in prison.
Yeah. And you're not going to leave.
Like what?
She continues. She filed a bunch of lawsuits against Colorado and against the Colorado Department of Corrections, and saying that she's being denied basic human rights. She's done all of her appeals. They've all been denied. So as a result of all her legal wranglings, Jill was moved to an out-of-state prison under an alias.
Oh, Jesus.
Rumors claim she's at a medium security correctional facility in Omaha, Nebraska, as of right now. But that is the story of Jill, Lanita, Billiot, Inhen, Moore, Coit, Brody, DeRosa, Metzger, Steely, Boggs, Carroll. And her third husband who was shot, Houston was like, yeah, it was probably her. Charges never filed. Nothing like that.
Wow.
So his case is still open to this day.
Wow.
And
imagine that family.
And she has kids with him. Like, that's awful. Imagine those kids.
that family.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. Oh my God. Wow.
The fucking charisma, man, that you would have to
big
do
balls
to get
on Jill.
somebody within. She's like, and one of her quotes was, she's like, I was Southern, so I probably should have had affairs, but I went and married them. And she's like, I could never keep them going for more than a year. And the only one that she like ever loved was William Clark Coit Jr., the one that
got away.
The one that got away.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's a lot.
that is a lot.
I have to
my
say,
God.
I don't have the energy
No.
it
to
seems
live that kind of life.
No.
The way we started out with like by husband 3, we're like, okay.
yeah.
okay. And then by husband 5, we were like, nah, you know
I'm
what?
out.
No.
I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out. The one thing that I can get behind is find yourself a daddy.
if
Find
I
yourself a daddy to adopt you.
if
That
I
I'm okay with.
had more time, I would like literally try to create in Canva
This,
Wait, Lord.
this is
her like when she was married to which
Yeah,
husband,
if
like a
listener-
flow chart.
If a listener could do that for us, that'd be great. We'd love to see it.
I bet that flow chart still exists.
I bet
somewhere.
I bet it's somewhere. I bet I
Oh,
can look it
man.
up and find it. But yeah,
Wow. Wow,
Too
that's a
many
lot.
marriages.
I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm exhausted.
Literally,
just hearing
like,
it.
Here's the thing I always think about some of these. I'm like, if you had put that much effort, that much, effort into anything else, you
Yeah.
would be a millionaire
Yeah,
on
honestly,
your own rate.
she's that charismatic to get people to almost like instantly fall in love with her, and obviously like intelligent.
But it makes sense
but-
to me as a woman who was born in the 40s from the deep South. Like, it makes sense to me that
Right.
because probably she grew up being like, the goal is to get married and have a family. Like, that is typically like how, traditional families were
Yeah.
back in the day. So it was just like, it makes sense that like, yeah, marriage is your job. Like,
Yeah.
rather than being like, I could be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You know what I mean? Which is like, maybe a man would do that. There's lots of
Right.
studies that suggest that there's a lot of psychopaths who are CEOs of companies for the same reason, because they're
Yeah.
charming and like willing to do whatever they have to do to
get that coin.
So she did the same thing, just with marriages, which makes sense, I think, given her background.
Yeah. Woof.
Wow.
Well, what are you guys watching this week?
Gosh, I watched Saint Maud, which is an A24 horror movie.
Okay.
Liked it a lot. I was,
A24 is
they crush it with horror movies. This one's a little older. It's from like, I think 2019 maybe.
Okay.
But it was really good. I was just talking about this, that like, I love that generally the horror genre, like they know that they're like, we can get in and out in like an hour 30, hour 45.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like an hour and 40 minutes, which I'm just like, that perfect.
Yep.
Sweet spot. I really feel strongly that no movie needs to be much longer than 2 hours ever. So I'm like,
don't have the attention span
I
anymore.
simply
I don't have the time.
don't, and I oftentimes am just like, this could be edited,
Yeah.
So it was very good. It's a religious horror movie.
Oh.
Yeah, specific genre. So just know that going in, if you don't want to unpack your religious trauma,
Right? Yeah.
Might
yeah.
not be the one.
but it was, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Nice.
I, on the horror genre, have been watching Eli Roth's History of Horror on AMC Plus. And it's really
No, I've
fucking
seen
good.
that. It's good.
I love Eli Roth.
He's so
he could
hot.
just, oh my God. His eyes do look a little sharky, but
He is pretty hot though.
he's so fucking hot. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. So it's been good for that, like eye candy portion, but also too, it's just like really interesting. I like horror as a genre. I grew up with it. I don't like, it's funny because I don't like scary movies, but there's certain like things that are just really super nostalgic for me
in
horror because my dad grew up kind of forcing me to watch a lot of horror.
Yeah.
So it's a weird trauma place for me.
Yes.
I'm unpacking it right now with Eli Roth.
Yeah. He's helping you work through some things.
Eli, my new therapist, Eli Roth, and I are working through some of that.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Well, speaking of therapists, I just started watching. I watched the first episode of Shrinking.
Yes.
On Apple.
It's so good.
I want to watch it.
Loving it.
Yeah.
How great is Harrison Ford?
He's so great.
He's so good.
It's so good to see him in this. And this is like a really, so far, I'm really interested to unpack what's going on with Jason Segel. It's
I love Jason Segel.
Really good setup. I'm really loving Apple Plus's originals.
They're so good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend it if you're not watching Shrinking. I sleep on Apple Plus too.
Yeah, I do too.
I kind of want to unpack what else is there because the
morning show is really good.
Severance.
I did start Bad Sisters on Apple Plus too.
Yeah.
That was
Is it good?
Our friend Jill recommended that. I am enjoying it.
Okay.
It also takes place in Ireland, which is just so charming to me because I just love their accents. But yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Nice.
Yeah. It's very different energy from like Shrinking, but
Right.
yeah.
Oh, speaking of Irish, I also watched Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh yes.
And Your Face is
I liked
nuts.
it.
I loved it.
It's too long.
But I kind of lost it when the thing happened to Jenny.
Mhm.
Oh, don't tell me.
No, we won't.
Yeah. There's some moments I was like, oh, this is a dark comedy. This is exactly what I'm in the mood for. It leans dark.
It's
It
dark.
leans
Yeah.
way dark.
Yeah.
Way darker than I was prepared for. But do I think is an absolutely fucking fantastic movie? Absolutely.
The writing is incredible. The acting is incredible.
The Oscars are tonight, guys.
Yes, I know. I got to go home and make my picks. I'm going to try to beat Eric this year. I did some research. I read Hollywood Reporter articles, Variety articles.
Oh, shit.
Jesus.
I'm coming for his title this year.
Oh, my God. Listen.
Yeah.
Not that you don't have anything else on your plate.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
I also would also research.
I need to do
all
in-depth research.
I'm so extra. What is wrong with me?
I
Well,
love it.
if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have a terrible dating story, or if you just want to say hey, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstatepodcast.com. And we love you so much.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.